What's up, guys? Welcome back to another trade review. Today I took one trade. I ended up making $931. So finished the week strong. Made probably like 6K this week, 6.5K. So good week. I'm gonna get into my post-trade analysis. This is a trade that I took shorts. I ended up getting stopped in profit for like 0.95R or something like that. But yeah, so let's get into the trade that I took. So let me clear all this and then we can go look at the other time frames. So going back to the 4 hour, you can see that we have these highs and these lows. If we go to the daily, you can see that we're in this bearish daily for value gap. Drop to the hourly. We can see that um, once again, these highs and lows. There's not too much going on in terms of you know, like fair value gaps and stuff. There was this one tiny little bearish fair value gap right here, which will actually come in handy for my entry. So I'll just leave that there for now. You can see not many fair value gaps on the way up. But my thesis was either we want to take this high or we want to retrace towards this low, and I would target those moves. But since we were kind of chopping up, I would most likely take shorts down to some of these levels. So if I replay this, and I go to 8:30 open, right, we can see that price is coming up and we are at just about the 50%, a little bit above of the range. So to take a move to the downside would be ideal here. And so there's this 15-minute gap, bullish gap that we're bouncing off of, but you can see there's two levels here that got swept. And so in terms of me looking for double sweeps, it actually works out very nice. So you can see on the 5-minute, there's this gap here, right? And so I want to see if this 5-minute fair value gap holds. And if it doesn't, then maybe we'll take a short. But I still want to see what market wants to do. There was news at 7:30. And so if we go here, you can see that we put in this high, and in this blue line is the 1 hour bearish fair value gap at 50%. So we swept this high, then we swept this high. So now it's like, okay, if we go below here, maybe I'll take a short, but it's still early, market's opening, so I want to see what happens. So you can see we come up and we sweep this high again. So now I'm looking for, instead of this being the change in the state, this would be the change in the state. So that's what I'm looking for now. So if we keep going, a couple candles slowly starting to come down. So now I can start looking for shorts. But the other thing is, if you look at GBP around this time, let's go. What is it right here? You could see that GU never took this high. Or wait, where is it? Right here. So this never took out this high, but Euro did. So on top of all of these sweeps, we have an SMT as well. So now we want Euro to be the leading indicator, bearish, to target the downside. So now I'm starting to look for, okay, what targets to the downside could I potentially take that would be optimal? And so this is a pretty big move to the downside. So if we take this, which is the bottom, which is that low that we marked out, we put it all the way to here, 50% marks right out with this liquidity. So this is the level that I'm most likely going to target if I take shorts, because this is too big of a move for me to target all in one, because I'm only taking 3, 4, 5, 6R. So this was the move that I would take. So if we continue watching, you can see that this 5-minute, there's another 5-minute gap. And so now I want to see if this one gets inversed. And you can see that right here, there's another bearish 5-minute gap, right? So keep in mind both of these gaps I want to see get inversed, just to be super confident in shorts. One of them's bearish, or one of them, I guess this was bullish, but yeah. So if we continue on, you can see that price comes down. I'm getting ready. This would be my change in the state, and then boom, big candle to the downside. And similar to yesterday, or similar to, might have been a couple days ago, um, I want to wait for this fair value gap to open, because now we have displacement. Both of the 5 minutes got inversed, so that's huge for us. Um, and basically, I just wait for a retest of this. Um, I want to wait for a retest of this fair value gap that opened, right? Oops, sorry. Um, right here. I don't want this chart to get too sloppy, so I'll get rid of this gap and this gap. I'll keep the hourly. This 1 minute gap, I want to see get tapped and then take a short to these lows. And so if we keep going, you can see price comes up, goes down, does not take out. This price would be my move stop to break even price, right? So that's what I was waiting for to get tapped, but we didn't end up tapping it. We went up, kept chopping around, kept chopping around. Then we swept this low. Okay. So now at this point, or actually no, I think this was, yeah, this was equal lows. Sorry. So my stop was still, break even, break even. Then we ended up sweeping this high for more conviction. And then we displace, and we have another change in the state of direction, or delivery, sorry. So now we sweep this low, right? So now my stop's at break even, move it down, price keeps falling. I'm targeting this. Now there is a 15-minute gap in here that unfortunately gets respected eventually, but my thought process was once we tap this 5-minute gap that forms right here, this gap gets respected to the downside. So now I move my stop to here, and then when we keep going lower and lower and lower, then eventually I move it to here and then get stopped there, which is fine, it happens. Price actually ended up continuing all the way up to take these external highs, or one of the high, I think this high up here, which is pretty crazy. But overall, not a bad trade. Pretty good day overall. Again, I made 930 bucks. This is a very good model, very good price action. Exactly what you want to see. You got the multiple sweeps leading into displacement to the downside in correlation with an SMT as well. So everything you really want to see. Good trade today. And yeah, can't be mad. I ended up just taking a payout actually today for my funded account, which is pretty nice. And yeah, so if that doesn't get approved tomorrow, I probably won't trade because my account is deactivated while payouts get approved. So we'll be back Monday, maybe Tuesday. I haven't looked to see if there's news on Monday. If there's not, I probably won't trade. But pretty good. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. Leave a like if you want to subscribe. Feel free. And yeah, thanks.